self-building bridges. This happens about once a year. I just wake up and I really want to build a self-building bridge. There's something about them as a redstone build that are just incredibly satisfying. I've built them in the nether, I've built them in the overworld using the carpet mod.
But there is one thing his bridges can't do, and that is go infinite. You see, he always relies on the fact that a piston can only push 12 blocks, which means that if a flying machine crashes into a large enough structure, the flying machine will stop right there. He uses this so a flying machine can detect what part of the bridge has been built. Don't worry, Mumbo. Today I'm going to solve your problem to celebrate reaching 5,000 subscribers. People who have seen my self-hiding village video know that I like to solve most of my problems by using a second flying machine, which is exactly my plan. The build will consist of 3 parts: the base, where segments of the bridge get generated, the collector, which is a flying machine that moves these segments, and the stopper that stops the collector and then moves an amount of blocks equal to the segment length. This way the segments connect to each other when the collector arrives again. As my main block I'm going to be using basalt because I like how it looks. The shape, let's keep it simple. I'm going 3 wide and maybe like a railing on the side. That way the machine shouldn't get too complicated. Alright, the basalt itself we can generate with some soil and some ice next to it. Then if we let some lava flow on top of it, that should give us basalt. So I make a chamber. Boom, that's basalt. Add a piston with a clock and we can bring it out to make as much basalt as we need. Alright, I've extended my basalt generator. When I add a clock, it should push out. I'm using 4 different basalt generators to get it a bit quicker. This means that we have spaces in between them. Now I'm just going to build exactly the same thing on the other side to fill in the gaps. Alright, I finished the other side, so if I add a clock here, boom, the entire thing should start to fill with basalt. Now, once it's finished, we can just destroy any blocks and it should get regenerated, which means we have our infinite supply of basalt. To add some more details and a railing, I've added some cobblestone generators at the bottom. That way we can push some blocks up. Before I go further, I need to build a way to turn the generator off. Alright, I've added this lever. When it's turned on, we can destroy the generated blocks without them getting regenerated. This is because the clocks are turned off. So if we just remove the things we have already made here, then we can see how the actual generation looks from now. Alright, let's turn the brakes off. Alright, new blocks get generated, and when we push the button, they get pushed up. This isn't exactly the pattern I was going for, so I'm going to play a bit more with the timing. I've combined the lever and the button and added some timing, so now we get the pattern I was going for. If we turn the brakes back on, we can destroy these, and if we do it again, we should get exactly the same part of the bridge. Which means it's about time we start building the collector. Alright, I've built myself a collector. When I give this observer an update, the segment of the bridge gets pushed by the back of the machine. Then when it collides with the honey blocks, which will be part of the stopper later, we will stop. Then if we give this observer an update, we return and we place the bridge 1 block down. That way, the next segment can slide over. But first we need to build the stopper. The most important part of our stopper is to take a fixed amount of steps every time, which is why I've come up with this machine. It consists of 2 flying machines. When the first one collides with the second one, it gets started, but it gets stopped by the sandstone of the first flying machine. This means the amount of honey blocks will determine how far our machine goes. We have 11 blocks right now, but the segments are 8 blocks, so I destroy a few. From now on, we will take 8 steps every time. Alright, I've added a part to the stopper. Now it also pulls forward the blocks that are there to actually stop the collector. But it's still true that when we give this observer an update, we will take 8 steps with our stopper, which is exactly what we wanted to do. I've combined everything. if I give a block update to the observer right here, the collector should move the bridge until it clashes with the stopper right there, and then it returns by placing the bridge one block lower. Now we need to generate another part of the bridge, so we turn the brakes off for a second. Turn them back on so our collector can pass, give another update, and boom. And since the stopper has made 8 steps, the collector will place its segment right next to the previous one. Ah, that's so satisfying. Now we just need to automate the brake turning on and off and the flying machine taking off. I've done just that. When this observer gets an update, it will activate a pulse extender that deactivates the brakes. This is long enough for the bridge segment to build, after which the brakes turn back on so the flying machine can take off. The reason the flying machine takes off is because the brakes also activate a repeater trail. That repeater trail feeds into a piston. Alright, we're about to arrive. Boom, we return. Ah, that still works, still satisfying. And you see, boom, the pulse gets extended, the bridge gets built, and the repeater trail turns the piston off, after which the machine takes back off. Alright, we're pretty much finished. I can just go sit down in the boat and relax. While I'm AFK, the entire bridge will build out of thin air, right beneath my feet. Ah, I just love watching this thing in action. Since this is a celebration of reaching 5,000 subscribers, I thought it would be fun to start up a new world and let this machine run until it has placed 5 blocks for every subscriber. This means at the moment I will turn it off when the bridge is 25,000 blocks long. But at that point I will see how many extra subscribers I've got and let it run for them as well. So the question is, how far will we be able to go?